knocking on that guy's front door? What was his name again? I always forget. He has some... Prove.
Yeah. And that's also where I got these. Mist holds up her tentacles.
I thought you didn't get those until we went and we did the thing with Rausch.
No. Well, yes, but... Look, that's where I got the rod that got tentacles on it and ran around in the library in sigil, and then, eventually just decided it was gonna form into my arm. But it came from there.
Nadia was trying not to stare as she visualized this, and trying to comprehend a rod with tentacles running around the library.
Well, I mean, it's probably exactly what she imagined.
A simpler time.
Yes.
When a sister skated on another sister.
Radical.
Oh my
Magical
god.
Tubular.
Anyway.
Good times. Good times.
So, we tried to get through there before. It's possible I could make a doorway now.
Yeah, we're a lot more persuasive now.
I mean, you can only be so persuasive with, barriers, but yes.
I meant persuasive in the figurative. We have a lot more force behind us now.
True. But yeah, we probably won't have to break it open or anything.
I mean,
If
not
it's
that
still
would be a
there.
bad thing.
I actually wanted to go back at some point. I remember now when
So did I.
we were fighting the demons and we found out that whole place had probably been consumed with lava. So...
yeah.
I mean, we could try, but, no guarantees. As with everything.
Well, if our realmic is now submerged in a bunch of molten rock, that's going to make things a bit more difficult.
Little bit. I mean, it might not bother it very much, but, wherever that device is that I apparently have to make work, that's
I know
a problem.
I know we're capable of amazing things, but I don't think swimming in lava is one of them.
Yet.
Can you even swim in lava?
I bet Ren could swim in lava for 2 minutes.
Really?
No.
I mean, I don't think she'd
It's
make
your
it back
body.
out, but she might.
Ren looks like she's crossed her arms and she has a finger poking her cheek in thought, trying to calculate how long 2 minutes would be covered in lava.
Brent, is your body more durable since you're she just
How
kinda
much of your
gestures.
body has to be intact before, the whole, being reborn somewhere
Could
else
you-
thing happens?
Could you just be a skeleton?
Ren shrugs. I don't know.
I'm not sure that's curious as that is. I'm not sure that's something we should experiment with.
Probably
Point in
not.
Time.
Not unless we really have to.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm all willing for the sacrificial lamb bullshit, but let's not go there yet, shall we?
I'm sure Ninia is enjoying this conversation.
Yeah.
My computer
Inward.
cut out, so I missed whatever hilarious answer.
Ah,
It's fine. It's fine.
Buffy blue screened for a sec.
It was not bad.
Jesus.
Ren,
we really don't know where we're going, do we?
Ren,
we know where it is, but...
Ren, in the meantime, moves over to the door and cracks it open a little bit.
Immediately you are assailed with a Arctic-like gust of wind. Your senses are frozen for a brief second. It's so cold that everything sort of whites out around you, and when
Oh,
you're
that was a mistake.
When everything kind of comes back into existence, you see that you're relatively high up in the mountainside. The snow up here is thick enough that you're not sure like how thick it is, but you do know that it's relatively close to the bottom of the train. If you sat down and put your leg down, it would probably strike the top of the snow.
Jesus.
The mountains are stretching far outwards. This is not quite the same route that was taken initially. You don't see the pockmarks where the crystals used to be. It's relatively barren, though, and when the sunlight glints off of the snow, you have to hold your hand or your arm up to your eyes, lest you be blinded.
Alright. Curiosity satisfied.
Ren,
About how
you're
long?
letting in all the fucking cold air.
Ren, like, she squints a little bit and she's like, about how far are they away from our door?
You can make a history check, or history or survival.
I'll take history.
Okay.
I have a bonus for that one.
Hey.
Okay. Based on looking around the mountains and your memory of living around here, you guess that you're probably about 8 to 10 hours out still. At least by traditional train, you can't gauge how fast this one's going.
What kind of roll would it take to gauge how fast this one is going?
For you, let's say perception with a disadvantage.
Alright.
And you can only do this due to your old pirate nature.
18.
Okay. You take a few minutes to eyeball it, and you eventually settle on a small landmark to keep an eye on. And you squint, and you just watch it, and it's probably going to take about 7 hours at your current pace.
Alright. Ren closes the door, satisfied with her investigation. Oh, that was brisk.
Bran's just like sitting in the back now, like bundled up in his cloak.
Yeah, Laffy's like closer to saying it.
Yeah, brisk. That's a way to put it.
Mist is still just a bundle of robes. Like, she hasn't shifted much.
We're about 7 hours out of Ardo. We may want to just, I don't know, nap.
You can nap if you want to. I've got to
Yeah,
finish
right.
something.
Ren crawls into the pile of blankets and just like sleep. And by sleep I mean like
Pretend to sleep.
pretend sleeps.
Alright, so what's
Okay.
everyone else do?
Mist kind of looks at Laffy and is like, do you think Bartholomew would have any more information about how to get into this place?
I mean, maybe, but then we would have to send him back to Sigil again. Well, I don't know, because here's the thing, right? Ardor has been built 3 times already, and Bartholomew is quite old, and he was asleep for a long time.
Yeah, but he was the one that told us about this in the first place.
I mean, maybe.
Okay, out of character question, does Mist know how summoning a familiar works? Like, I mean, she
Yeah.
does it with Bathan, but
Yeah, it's just
basically, so if Laffy were to summon Bartholomew and then dismiss him, would he go back to Sigil? Like, would he go back to where he was before? Or would they have to send him to Sigil?
he would go back to where he was before. She would have to cast the ritual for 10 minutes, and he would She'd have to use your reagents and your gold, but we're so far past that, whatever. But yeah, when you're done with your familiar, you can send it back to where it came from.
Okay. Yeah, Mist is like, we don't technically have to send him back to Sigil. If it works like the spell Summon Familiar works, which I think you can do because you named him, he should just return where he came from after you dismiss him.
Alright. Well, I am needing,
Mist just pulls out the things, like, without her even saying it. Yeah.
So, Luffy starts making a fire, she takes the incense, she lights the incense, it stinks up the whole cart. Now everything smells like patchouli or whatever. And she, tosses some herbs into the fire in hopes that when the smoke comes up, the cat comes out.
Okay, Luffy spends about 10 minutes doing this, and it's pretty disruptive. She's chanting under her breath occasionally, kind of in the way that Mist does sometimes. And eventually, she takes a fistful of herbs, tosses it in the fire, there's a loud poof, and she says, "Bartholomew!" And the smoke is just thick and cloying. And a minute passes, and you hear a, "Oh, what do you want?" And a small black cat emerges from the clearing smoke, looking very put off.
Miss got questions for you.
Oh, so you're putting this all on me, alright.
Yeah, you were the one who requested it.
Fair. Anyway, sorry.
As Luffy says that, she goes to, as much as she hates it, she cracks the door open a little bit to let the smoke out.
Bartholomew crawls forward, Mist, and just kind of nestles into your robes without asking permission or anything.
Mist doesn't really mind.
And then just looks up at you with cat eyes, waiting.
Yeah, Mist is like, okay, so I know you were resting for a long while, but you told us that the foundry at, the center of the world and all that, where we're going right now, has crows still in it. Well, something happened. The volcano started erupting. A lot of what was underground got filled with lava. Do you know a way that we could get in there? What was the way you got in there before?
Bartholomew just looks at you the whole time and... My masters would get in with a spell. I don't really know what it was, but they said it came from the source of knowledge, and the door would open, and from there they would explore the depths of the canyon that is the temple.
Okay, the source of knowledge. Would that be related to Leander? Would that be related to that which waits? I've heard both are connected to knowledge, somehow.
Yes, I believe it would.
But which, though? Both?
He doesn't say anything.
Miss just kind of looks at him. What, are they the same thing?
I don't know how you're going to get down to where the lava has taken over. Not aware of how deep this would have gone. After all, it's a city that's been built upon itself several times.
True. So the spell was like a teleportation sort of spell?
Not exactly. It was a portal that you opened upon the entryway. It was a giant stone that repelled all sorts of magic.
Oh my goodness.
It's the one that we found before. Fuck.
the proper incantation will open the door's portal, which will allow you to step through. It's a bit of a trick that my master put upon it.
Wait, isn't that the
Right.
one in the swamp?
No, no.
Oh,
no.
no, wait, no,
It's
the
the
one in
one-
the library that we couldn't open. Ah, yes, I remember now.
The one we
Is
were
there some
talking about
sort of-
before.
There's some sort of hint for how to be using the incantation.
Well, I mean, I could try a bunch of things. All of that considered, I didn't try everything. But, yeah. I mean, any knowledge about that would be good.
I honestly cannot help. I
Fair.
wasn't privy to the incantations, and if I was, it's a bit beyond the realm of a familiar to teach another individual spells.
Vathan puffs up a bit, like he's almost offended. I mean, it's true, probably, but Vathan's still like, wow. Mist is just like, alright, okay, well, thanks, that does help a bit more, at least we know exactly what we're looking for now, though it might be covered in lava. We'll have to figure that out. Thank you.
Is that all, then?
I mean, I have a billion questions for you, but I'm sure you don't want to deal with those right now.
Not particularly, I suppose. I am tired. Still waking up. Yes.
Perhaps later if we don't all die.
Oh, even if you do, I'm sure we could find a way.
Ooh, that's good. Mist kind of looks at Laffy because she can't really dismiss him.
Fluffy looks at Miss.
No one else has anything they want to ask, right?
Fluffy looks at everyone else.
It's buried under, like, blankets.
Yeah, Brand's napping.
Well,
I mean, what? Ren pauses.
That's only the beginning part of a question, dear. I need to know the rest.
Yes, I know. I'm
Mist can't help but giggle.
figuring out what I actually want to ask.
Don't think too hard, you might hurt yourself.
I've been there, done that.
Oh. Huh.
What? I mean, you said that your previous masters failed because they didn't have the blessings, right?
Indeed.
And you think the blessings were the only catalyst to that?
Well, I don't really know. I'm not certain how I could know, but I think it was the major player. It may also have been that they did not know the nature of these beings. They were in no way connected to them.
Well, it's
Miss-
not.
Oh, sorry.
No, that's okay.
Keep going.
And Ren's like under the covers, and she's like looking at her hand through the darkness.
Wow.
Mist is just like, you said before that the one that would have to operate or unlock or, wake up the device had to be connected to Leander. But you said that was me. I, to my knowledge, am not connected to Leander.
Knowledge is a funny thing, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Perhaps you've a thing to learn. I know not. I simply know that you can open the door.
I mean, that makes sense. You've opened doors before, Mist.
I know.
You
I
to be our
opened
resident
a lot-
gate opener.
Pretty much.
Master of unlocking, you could say.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, fuck off. Fuck you. Fuck
Saw
you.
my chance and I took it.
God. Anyway, Sorry. Had to get a little mad there for a second. Sorry, guys.
Alright, yeah, fair. But is he connected to Leander at all? Miss just kind of points at Bran.
Looks over at Bran and
Please tell me which one of these I'm connected to. I'm so excited to hear that.
hops out of your lap, Mist, and pads over to you, Bran, but's doing that cat thing where he lifts his paws really high because it's really cold.
Yeah.
And then walks over and just tries to sit down in front of you, but it's too cold on his bottom, so he stands back up and just looks really uncomfortable. And
Luffy walks over and she tries to pick up Bartholomew.
he allows it, but like in that dead weight way, so you pick him up underneath his armpits and he just hangs there.
She holds him like a baby.
He looks a little indignant for about 30 seconds before he realizes that this is warm, and you know what? He's still a cat, so he accepts this fate.
She's just trying to help.
Yep.
Miss kind of snickers and looks at Nathan because she knows that indignant look. Nathan's kind of puffed up like, yeah, what of it? Shut up.
I think that you are not connected to Leander, blonde one. You've got an empty spot, it would seem. Or it's a spot that wasn't always empty, but it's one that is slowly emptying out. Interesting.
Oh. That's
So
different.
what, I used to be connected to one of these things and I'm not
mean,
now?
You
No,
had the
it's
sword.
it's more like I can't quite say. I suppose it's somewhat like an hourglass is ticking away, or perhaps like sand on a beach. Whatever it is, it's something is wearing away at you, and perhaps it's the influence of one of these beings. Perhaps it's something else entirely, you mysterious man.
So he's a bucket with a hole in it.
Yes,
Oh, that's
actually.
Well, that's. And Ren, like, pokes her head out of the blankets. That's sort of depressing. Plug your hole, Bran.
Please never say that again!
Well, I mean, to be fair, I have a void where soul should be, so you know. Miss kind of shrugs.
Bran
Which
looks
is
like
the
he's
holy party.
Bran looks like he's about to like respond to what Ren says, and he just decides he thinks better of it.
Ren looks like she's properly, like, admonished and regrets. She has regrets.
Yeah, Miss is like, Bran, do you have any idea what Bartholomew's talking about?
Not an idea.
Insight check! Because that was...
Yeah, Luffy's gonna insight
The thing is, though,
check you.
Bran genuinely doesn't. He has no idea what he means by that.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
And you can still do one if you want, but like, no,
Yeah.
Bran totally doesn't understand what that
I mean-
metaphor is supposed to mean exactly.
Luffy's gonna use a 24 to stare into Bran's soul.
Yeah. Miss is gonna use 21.
Find
Determine that, yeah,
within
it's...
Bran's soul. He does have sort of like, he did get sort of like a weird look on his face, like he was contemplating something when he said that, but he was like, yeah, no, I don't really, mentally he was like, I don't really know how that allegory ties in exactly to my issues, so it's like, whatever.
Luffy just squints at Bran, but like, is that really anything new?
Yeah.
No,
Yeah,
No.
Luffy
it's
squints at
the
everyone.
same thing, and then looks at Luffy, and...
Yeah, Luffy looks at Miss and the X-Files theme plays
Yeah.
threateningly in the background.
Yeah, Miss just nods at Luffy. Like, she doesn't even say anything with telepathy, they just know. It's like, well, that is definitely weird.
Well, I suppose I'll figure out what exactly that means at some point.
Hopefully.
Maybe I will find a way to plug my hole.
Oh my god.
Mist kind of
No.
cracks up.
Gross.
Oh.
He said that
Anyway.
while looking. He said that while giving Vryn like this very like decisive look. Like, you said this first.
Red is just like continuing to have regrets.
Can I go now? It's quite cold.
Oh, you noticed that, have you?
I've been noticing it. I was just kind enough to not say anything.
I mean, it's not really our fault.
I didn't say it was your fault. I just said I'd like to go. It's cold.
Well, no one has any more questions?
I don't think so. At least,
Nope.
not
Have
right
you-
now.
Have you any other, tips, tricks, things to avoid doing?
I mean, I would have avoided getting into this mess to begin with, but hey, what do I
Thanks.
know? I'm a cat.
Thanks. Oh boy, help. So we're good, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Say
Well,
hello
you
to
do-
Aurelian for us.
Luffy does that thing where, like, you go and, like, you don't really put the cat on the floor, you just kind of, like, let them fly. So that he can fly off to another dimension.
That's exactly what he does. You like lift your arms out and release him, and he kind of jumps out, and there's a quiet sound, and he's gone.
You know, I would have really laughed if you hadn't figured out how to dismiss him.
I was a wizard once.
No, I know. It would have been funny. You just kind of threw him.
That reminds me of that webcomic where the person's like, I just threw a dog. It was like, I forgot it was a dog, so I just threw a dog. We've all been there. You're holding a dog that's the size of a cat, and you're like, alright, I'm gonna let you down, and you just kind of do the throw, and you're like, oh shit, that's a dog.
This creature is nowhere near as graceful as it needs to be to stick this landing.
Yeah.
Oh, a little too real for you there.
I worked in a daycare where I had large dogs and small dogs, and I had to put small dogs through a gate that they could run out of. So throwing small dogs into the daycare became like an accidental thing because it was just like, get back in there.
Oh my god.
It's fine. It's probably fun.
Yeah, they enjoy it. Anyway, sorry.
Sometimes they were fat and potato shaped though. And it was just like, oh, I'm sorry.
Oh
That was a mistake, but you're fine. Look at you, you're rolly.
You rolled like 3 feet. You're fine. Oh, okay.
Well.
Yeah.
Well, we got some information. At least we know exactly what we're looking for, and that is probably covered in lava, so hopefully I'm wrong about that.
I mean, exactly what we're looking for is still a bit vague.
I know, but at least we know the location. Like, anywhere in the mountain is a bit more vague.
The lava's probably rock by now. So,
It could have receded and just leave a lava-y coating on everything.
I mean, we did go back there once. Can Miss do a history check to remember what it was that happened the last time she tried to get to this place? Because she did.
Sure.
Over that year.
Yeah.
Okay. 31.
You give it a long, hard think, and you remember that, yeah, there's a lot of lava there, but, it was lava, and the university had largely been abandoned as a result of said lava, so getting to the entrance of the kind of waterway that it was originally located in isn't much of a problem. It's just getting through the lava that's a problem.
Okay. Yeah, Miss.
Though that was about a year and a half ago now, so maybe
yeah,
a bit
Miss
more, so.
Well, last time we were there was a lot of lava. It probably hadn't. And the university was mostly abandoned due to it. I mean, we would still be able to get to that area, just be like, dealing with the lava. Either as rock or still lava for whatever reason. Yeah, that was sort of in the way.
I have a question out of character.
Uh-huh.
Can we switch servers? Because I just cut out like 3 times in 5 minutes.
Oh no.
Yep. Okay. Let's see if that helped.
Okay.
Anyway, yeah, you guys were talking about lava.
Yeah. I don't know if I have any spells to easily remove it either. Or get through it. Aside from, teleporting to a place that I remember, but it's probably, like, completely consumed with lava, so I'd just be inside of it. That's not great. But you know what? I can try something. Let's see. Mista's gonna fucking sit down, and she's gonna look at her tentacles real hard, and she's gonna try that scry spell.
Okay.
She's gonna try to scry.
I think you just cut out on me.
Oh.
Yeah.
She's gonna try to scry on the location where the door was that they were trying to get through before. Like the one that, they know is now the way to get in there.
Okay.
And see if she can, see if it's like full of lava or rock or whatever.
Give me a second. I actually forgot how scry works.
I can...
Spellbot, where'd you go, buddy? There you are. Spell scry. Target must make a wisdom saving throw. Alright, wisdom saving throw from a door. Let's go.
Yeah!
Okay. So, you sit down and you give the tentacles a long, hard look, and you concentrate on them, and then you concentrate on the door, or what you remember the door to be like. And the rest of you guys see the tentacles writhe up, and Mist's hand rises to her face, and the tentacles actually reach out and cover her face.
It's fine, it's great.
This is the first time you guys have seen this, and it's actually the first time Mist has done this.
Yeah.
And Mist, instead of your gaze like pulling away, it's like you're looking into like a seeing eyeglass through the tentacles.
Look into the tentacles.
Yeah. And you see you catch a brief glimpse of the door, and it is surrounded by red, and it's very clearly hot. You actually make a perception check.
Oh boy, here we go. Perception. I'm gonna luck this for
Okay.
shiggles. There we go. That's better.
Okay. Your perception of the area swivels around, and you see that it's surrounded by lava falls. Like lava's falling off of rocks in slow, languid little pools. It's hardening in several places, and it looks like there would be a pathway through, but there's still quite a bit of hot lava down there that you'd have to navigate through. But
All
there,
right,
the door is
You-
there.
I'm
you-
heading out now.
Yeah.
You cut out through all of that. I'm sorry.
Changing the server to something else now.
Oh my god. Discord, why?
Just server hop all evening.
Yeah.
Hooray.
Okay, we're gonna try it again now.
Yeah, I cut off at like surrounded by lava falls.
Okay, yeah, just these thick, languid pools of lava that are sloughing off of stone and obsidian. And you see that there's definitely some pathway to make through. It's possibly obsidian that you'd have to cross. You can't be too sure. But there's still a lot of lava, but there is probably a path.
Okay. Would Mist have been able to like sort of convey this through telepathy as she's seeing it to everybody, or no? I don't know how it would work with scrying, but
Let me check.
she did it before with Bathan, so she would have tried to do it again, so she just doesn't have to explain everything, but you know.
Yeah, you
If
can
not,
do it.
then hey, so she's totally doing this. Everyone's just getting these visions now.
Nania tries to take in the warmth of what she's seeing. She thinks better of it, and finally, since somebody else does it, she slides over to the blankets and lays it on her lap. What's there anyway, but is pensive and thoughtful, and like, she's just a little country girl. She has no idea what to do about lava, so she's gonna try to think she knows about planning for something like that.
Poor girl.
Yeah. I'm guessing she can't see that far since she was focused on the door, but like, is there a direction from the door where like the pathway is leading, or is it just like, does it look like it was a made pathway, or does it look like it's just a happenstance pathway?
Make a survival check for that.
Oh boy. Okay. Survival. I think this is one of the few times she's had to do this. Not great.
You have no idea. Yeah. You see that there's a pathway, but that's it.
Okay. All right. So there's a pathway that is. Yeah. I'm imagining like this giant freaking weird lava cave right now. Like Jesus.
You're not wrong.
Sick. Does the door look phased? Like, is there anything that's like
No.
covering it? Or...
The door looks completely unfazed and like a door.
Okay. And the surrounding area, is it just like fucking lava, or is there like remnants of other things that seem to have survived the volcano? Still
From
there?
what you can tell using the scry spell and your, limited knowledge of these sorts of places, you get the sense that things did survive. Not all the stone has been eaten away by the intense heat. A lot of the structure is probably still intact. But
Okay.
the area around the door is completely intact.
All right. Okay. That's basically what she wanted to know, and she probably can't see much further, so she kind of pulls back from the scry spell then, and she cuts off the telepathic stuff, like just in case it gets super weird when she's ending the spell.
And as you end the spell, you drop your hand, and the suckers of the tentacles dislodge from your face with this soft popping sound.
Jesus. She just kind of blinks for a bit and rubs her face with her other hand and is like, well, that's what the area looks like. You all saw that, right? I mean, the door with the lava and all of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did.
Okay, so we know that there is a path there, just a matter of getting to it. At least we
Well-
don't have to figure out how to swim through lava, hopefully.
No, we just need to figure out how to survive in that sort of heat.
Yeah.
I'll be right back.
Well, that's a problem for future us.
I mean, not that future. I know something I could do for myself, but I think I can't do it for anybody else.
Well, you know,
We can
I
cross
plan
that-
on surviving through pure force of will. So
We can cross
Fair.
that molten bridge when we get there.
Yeah, fair enough.
I want to pawn so bad, but I'm kind of afraid.
Oh
my god.
Nania doesn't pawn, goddammit.
Or does
This,
she?
this Ninia could.
Listen.
Accidentally, she has in the past on accident. But anyway,
No, make the pun.
She's gotta lighten the mood. They're all
out
gonna
of
die.
character,
Yeah.
make the pun.
Out of character, make the goddamn pun.
DM has ordered you.
I'm lavaing that idea.
Oh.
Okay, it's out of my system.
Oh,
Jesus.
damn.
Anyway.
I'm love it.
Okay, yeah, I don't know if I regret that or not, but I feel a certain way. Anyway.
Okay.
Are there warning spells or armor we can wear, or
Possibly. Considering the ingenuity of those in Ardor, they might have come up with something to help them withstand the heat when they're trying to rebuild, since that lava was all over the place.
right?
I mean, we can hope, we could see. I'm not entirely sure otherwise.
That's all right to hope. To laugh, Miss God. Nadia says that more for herself, but she's trying to be helpful to the rest of the party.
I mean, we fought in a volcano before, so I don't see why it's going to be a problem now.
Well, yes, sort of, but that was all below us. It wasn't all around us. I don't know if it'd make a difference, really. Logically, it might, but
Can
Miss kinda
Lottie
shrugs.
make some sort of check to see if it would make a difference?
Yeah, that's a nature check.
Okay, 27.
No.
It wouldn't make a difference, trust me, I know this shit.
All right, well that's good. Then I guess we should be all okay. Oof. Just gonna have to find it. And then figure out how the fuck to open that door.
Well, I suppose a good place to start looking first when we get there is wherever you found that entrance the first time.
Yeah, the
school.
library.
The library.
And if it's all been submerged in lava and no longer available, then well, we'll just have to find something else.
Yeah.
Or start digging.
I suppose that too. Mist is just imagining digging in the ground and like hitting lava and being like, "Welp." She's not super keen on just digging, but you know, she's not gonna dismiss possibility.
Fluffy is thinking about digging, and she's all about that train of thought. Saint is there with her in her daydream. It's Lutch.
Saint is there with you in reality.
Yeah, but like in her.
No.
daydream,
I mean, like he's having the same daydream.
Fluffy and Saint gonna dig the biggest hole.
He doesn't even know why he wants to dig, but damn it, if you let him dig, he will dig.
He gotta.
Yeah, dogs.
Yeah, Mist kind of looks at everyone and sort of gauges to see if they're thinking of saying other stuff, because it seems like she wants to finish whatever weird muttering she was doing before.
Yeah, no, Nenia's trying to be helpful with the conversation, but mostly just trying to distract herself. But as soon as it, like, seems like it's gonna be quiet again, it's more mental preparations and not even knowing where to start with that, so... and listening to Mist mutter things, but not going to be rude and ask what that is, because that's rude. Obviously prayer.
Oh my
Or
god.
something. I'm sorry, Nenia's quite a character.
Alright, if no one's gonna do anything specific, Mist, follow me down into the other chat channel.
Oh shit.
Come with me.
Okay.
Come with me on this journey.
Oh god. Okay.
So, while you're sitting in the corner muttering your various arcane prayers, what are you saying specifically?
Oh my god, I have a whole big ass thing for this.
Hit me.
You want to read it or should I say it?
Start saying it.
Alright. Well, first, like, she's basically trying to convey this to the force of the unknown as she thinks it. And, like, even though she's like, speaking in a weird eldritch language, but, yeah, as anyone who can listen in can hear it, because she's also conveying it in anything that's understandable.
Okay.
Through telepathy. But in her conveyance, she's making sure everything seems like a question, even if it's a statement. Like, it's not something that really is conveyed in all languages, but everything's got, like, this hint of curiosity or uncertainty to it.
Okay.
Yeah, and this is her fucking thing. She starts off with the riddle, just sort of, like, introduction, and then she's sort of like... I speak not just to myself, but to you, a force that may hear not but my heeding, perhaps only present in your ever-permeating of my being, perhaps a very notion that hinges on that which is not, the unknown. You. I'm a miss. I'm alone. One of those mostly, one of those very, like a sentience that was meant for such existence, but while forces can be unaligned, off-kilter, and redirected to other paths, that of being alone is solely for beings of minds, wills, and wants. Those that can grow and change by their nature. The sentience, a trait I currently have, and a trait I admire, but one only half formed in me and likely soon to be gone. I've been fragmented from many things, or so I'm led to believe. The more I learn, the more I gather from that which is not myself, the more I grow distant. I once wondered, which of the threads was I in what you conveyed? Now it is hard to doubt that I am tattered and torn. I know not if you hear me. I know not if I am truly tied to you any more than any other, or if I am just mad in my fervour, my inexplicable devotion to the force of unknowing, to curiosity, to possibility, when I, it seems, may instead be but a crumb of the force of ending, a void, of oblivion, the stagnant opposite of possibility, the end of curiosity, repugnant in its absolute, but connected in cycle, in absence. I don't remember learning this. I don't remember a point where there was a spark in my mind, a wonder that grew to obsession and then became truth, as it may be for most of sentient kind. It just was. It just is. This devotion, this tie. When I was freed, I knew. As much as one can know of the unknown, I suppose, but it's a different sort of knowledge, full of curiosity, not information. It is being. It is as a force is, that sort of understanding. That the unknown was incredible and beyond credulous. That it is what makes life worth living to all sentients. That curiosity and wonder, the desire and longing for more, the flow of being and growth, but so too fear, uncertainty, freedom, all these tied together in the spaces between, and the great lack that yearns to be filled, the reaching, the separation from one entity to the next. That which is not there is just as important as what is, and that this force, the unknown, should ever be spread, for else there is abhorrent stagnancy. I thought perhaps this was my purpose. And now, even more than ever, the unknown claims this as well. What am I here for? Am I really just a failure? A mistake created into this mess meant to be a key, an opener of doors for those chosen, and then be done? Well, I cannot see this ending well for me. If I am a fragment of ending, that which waits is right. Sooner or later I will return to it, and then I will just cease to be. Not part of a force that furthers possibility, but part of one that ends it. Am I meant to hate what I am and am to be this much? I know that my feelings don't matter. They matter to me, but I'm an abhorrent mess. What really matters is that those who can further possibility and not destroy it remain. What matters is retaining this realm, this plane from its coming demise. And they matter. The others? They all had lives before this. They all have something they care for to return to. Not me, though. Honestly, I've never not been part of this. This is always my existence, all 3 years of my freedom, and while I would love to have the chance at freedom after, should there be more than nothing, I doubt that will be so. I, if anyone, am best suited for sacrifice. I'm in a world in which I hardly belong, and while I believe that really shouldn't matter, that I desperately want to have more time being able to choose, to follow my own curiosity, to experience all I am able, to give answers which lead to more questions, to be with my friends and help perpetuate the unknown in the small ways I can. I have the least to give up. That doesn't make it any less of a sacrifice, or I'd hope not, but they were meant for here. I was not meant to exist. I've wondered too if you may have presented me your riddles so that I might give myself up. That I would have such insight of you, the importance of possibility yet to be realized, that I, as some awful fragment of ending, would work to stop myself, to push away that which waits. I'd hope to realign it, but I'd also rather existence not be unbalanced without repair, curious as it may be to see what would happen. At this point, I just hope you will remain. That possibility will remain in a further capacity than that dictated by a select few entities of power. I hope they will remain. My friends, the few I love, those who I have fought for a better existence and better possibilities than they felt were available to them before. I want them to have better lives. That should they go back to places they called home, others they cared for, new endeavors, their surroundings are of a better sort than when this began. That there are more doors for them to open, more for them to wonder and inquire, and that they can continue to become. I would hope for me too, but whatever I seek for myself, I only reach the end. An end without choice. An end with so many questions and hopes yet stopped soon after. An end of nothing. But if that is the price for you to remain with them, for you to remain with all in this realm, so be it. I abhor the thought, but cannot stand the ill possibility that the unknown, that endless possibility itself, would not remain with the others and all else. I don't know if you will receive any of this, and I imagine you may. That honestly might be how you like it. But please do prevail. Even in your unbeing, it was you who always will move me, move all forward. I'd hoped to join you when this body was done, but perhaps that will be left to those who come after to achieve. and that's it. she would trace the symbol then, like, I mean, she wouldn't actively trace a symbol that she knows, but she would trace a symbol that she thinks is associated with the unknown into the air and just sort of close her eyes and surround herself with that dark, inky blackness and hope that goes somewhere.
Okay. You finish your speech, more or less.
Yeah,
That was actually that was very, very well written and spoken. Very nice. You finish with that and you sit in silence, and what feels like a moment, but maybe more, you finally hear the soft. You are quite a dull one, aren't you? So
Miss-
many words, and you said so very little. Oh, you poor, poor being of my failure. You so desperately want to matter. You look up, and you see sitting across from you a mass of black robes with gold trim. You can't see the face, it's shrouded in a thick hood. But it's just sitting across from you. It says, "You know what your purpose was here, and you continue to persist despite it. How curious. I would not say interesting, but certainly curious."
Miss is just like she's sort of struck with a whole lot of confusion and curiosity and also like shit.
Do you know who I am, failure?
um
Come now. Don't be shy. You just finished speaking to me so beautifully.
are you it is not?
That is one of my names. I am the unknown. I am the great question. I am the keeper of knowledge, the driver of knowledge. I am Leander, the fallen one. And you are my
Oh.
greatest failure.
Mist kind of can't help but like laugh, but it's not like mocking, it's just like she's so overwhelmed right now and like it's a lot. She's conveying like a genuine sense of a whole lot of things, man. It's all these things. she's like, you're the unknown.
Huh. Indeed I am. Not the unknown as you'd like it to be, but the true face of the unknown. The driver of the outsider, of the endless nothing. The seeker of the great final question.
Ah, you said you were fallen.
I am what happens when knowledge is had, and had, and had, and continued. After all, once you've reached the final question, there is only the final answer to be sought. And I think we both know what the final answer is, don't we, failure?
Absolute.
Nothingness. Absolute nothingness.
All absolutes are dreadfully stagnant and horrifying.
And yet it is where all things return, and thus I embraced it.
Do they all return that way, though?
Do what
I
all?
thought... Does everything really go to nothing?
Ha! Sooner or later, yes. Everything becomes nothing, and nothing becomes something. It is a cycle. A never-ending cycle. Eventually, though, it is an end of all things that lies at the edge of creation. I have seen it, and I have thought it to be good.
Really?
It is the answer, and it is what I have sought.
If you are of the unknown, why would you seek final answers?
Why?
Is it not far better to wonder and always have something more to look for? Where is there to go from there?
Ah, and that is the point, isn't it? The great unknown is the great question, and the great question has a great answer. And that is why I am who I am. I have seen the end, and thus I seek the unknown.
Because you know everything.
Because
But not everything.
I seek
to want.
to know that I know nothing.
Miss has this look like she totally understands that.
And that is why you are a part of me, even though you are a failure. You know
Was
I am
that-
coming, right?
Yes, I
Good.
do.
I am not one of my siblings. I do not come to take part in our old experiment. I come to return it
Return it.
to the nothing, so I may use that nothing to find something.
Do you not gain with all entities that feel such wonder themselves, that strive for curiosity and anything that they have not yet reached? Do you not gain in that?
Once I might have, now I don't. I have lost all attachment. I desire no attachment to these creatures. Perhaps once they saw me as what you say. No longer.
Would you want to go back to that?
Why would I?
Why not?
Why?
Miss can't help but giggle again. I don't know.
I know what you were planning. To use that ritual to turn my siblings against their own natures into the nature of your desire. It's commendable.
Yeah. I mean, I never really tried to hide anything from you.
It's a good thing, too. You would have been wasting much effort.
Yeah, I know. Or sort of know. Know as much as I can, I guess. Do you think it would work, or would you not want that?
I know
Do you
it could
even want-
work.
Oh.
I know it could not work. I know you could die. I know you could live. One thing that is certain across everything is if my siblings die, well, they mustn't. There must always be someone that stands in their stations.
Stands in their station.
The vigilance must always be maintained. A vigil is always to be watched. Protection! Well, everything needs to be protected. Creation cannot come about without the great hammer that forges. Life will not be nurtured without a life giver. And the balance, the oh so delicate balance, will be destroyed. And everything will spiral, not into nothingness, but into everything.
Everything at once.
The wheel will no longer exist, and it will be all at once. Everything, everywhere.
It's like being completely omniscient, experiencing all things at once, no separation between one thing and the next. Constantly everything all the time.
Precisely.
That's awful. That's
Quite.
horrifying.
Quite, and it is in my interest that this does not come to pass.
I thought that would be so if everything were nothing.
There is a difference. A great, great difference. And I wish for nothing.
Fair. If there were nothing, you would certainly be in a better place than absolute everything.
Now, I am coming, and I will not help you. But when I arrive, you know what will happen. You cannot kill me. You cannot fight me.
No, I can't.
All you can do is accept me. Do you accept me, failure? Or will you struggle, and struggle against these bonds that I have put you in?
Mist has a strange look for a second, and she kind of, like, she looks at the markings on her hand and then looks back up. and she's like, you need someone in their station. What if the others were to take that up? Would that still achieve their being?
Yes.
Existence remains in balance.
Yes. No. All possibilities exist. I know this.
True.
But will you welcome me, Mistress? The failure of my creation? Will you accept me? The nothingness? The way that you wish to be consumed? Have your sentience ripped away in sacrifice?
Are the possibilities great? That would leave the others.
It happens regardless.
Alright, well.
If you accept me, they are doomed. If you do not accept me, they are doomed. It is a question for you to answer. Do you accept to lose yourself?
If I must, then I must.
You mustn't do anything. You must make a choice.
I will accept to lose myself if I become part of the unknowing. If I am part of a stagnancy of that awful everything, I refuse.
That is what I seek. Stagnancy. To cease. To accept me would be to run towards that warm embrace. Now, failure, I ask you again. Will you become my greatest success? My body. To help me usher in this great stagnancy. The final answer.
Mista tilts her head like she's conveying a whole lot of weight. You just said you were against all that stagnancy.
Oh, no.
That is not what I stand for.
I seek it. It proves that I know nothing or I know everything. And I wish to know that. And the only way to find it is to reach out and take it.
You're not a force, are you?
I am Leander. I am the force of knowledge. I am the force of knowing. I am that which waits. The answer. The question.
But you have wants. Forces don't want for anything but to further themselves. You would want to further the knowledge, you'd want to further the unknown. And thus that would not be stagnant. And that would be absolute. That is not a cycle, that is not continuing to be, that is ending everything.
That is the
And being
stagnancy I seek. If the end
No.
exists, then I know everything. If the end doesn't exist, then I know nothing. But everything must end, and I will run for it, and try to take it in my grasp.
That doesn't disgust you.
It is what I seek. Will you join me? Or do you deny your place, my place inside of you?
I cannot stand for that.
The robes are getting closer now, until they're like right up against you.
Yeah.
And you still can't see anything in the depths of the robes, but you feel hate. Just
Yeah.
an intense hatred coming out at you.
Yeah, Mist is like... I mean, at first, it seemed like she was totally there when it was all like, yeah, that becoming everything was awful. But it's the same thing as the nothingness. It's the same stagnant, like, absolute bullshit that she has always absolutely hated.
Mhm.
So she's like, she's standing fucking strong against this thing. Like, she doesn't give a fuck. Like,
Okay.
this is the exact opposite of all that she fucking thinks is really fucking important.
Okay.
So she's... If it tries to, like, get into her or something, she's gonna try to repel it. And she's just...
It's definitely coming closer.
Yeah, she's backing up.
I am the unknown. I am that which you want. I am that which you crave and worship. Will you become me?
You are not the unknown.
I am the unknown.
You are trying to manipulate me. The unknown is a force that does not want for anything more than its perpetuation, and its perpetuation is perpetuated by possibilities.
If you do not accept
Take those
me,
all away.
I will take you. And it reaches out with one of the fluttering robes, and you see a massive inky nothingness reach out for you.
If Mist can, like, get the heck away, she's gonna. Like,
Yeah, back up. Do whatever you want.
she's backing up, and, like, she doesn't know what kind of weird half-universe they're in. She's, like, trying to teleport away. She's just trying to get away as far as she can.
Okay. Okay. You start backing up, and yeah, you notice that you're in a space of nothingness. There's nothing around you now. And you back up, and a tendril of inky blackness wraps around your arm. You are mine to take.
I do not belong to you.
I will take you. And it starts pulling you back towards the robes.
Mist is trying to get the tendril thingy off.
How's she doing it? Come on. Describe.
She's grabbed, like, I don't think she has anything with her, does she? She's just, like, grabbing at it and trying to, like, rip it off of her, and she's, like, conveying a whole lot of really loud, really unsettling, get the fuck away from me. Like, it's almost deafening.
I gave you a choice, and you balk at my choice. Now I will take you.
It was never a choice if you were going to take me either way.
And it's now slithering up your arm, and you feel it on, like, the left side of your body.
She's fuck. She's like... She doesn't... Fuck.
I am a being of the divine. I can take what I please.
You are a being and not a force. You said it yourself.
I am divinity. I am divine. I am divinity. I am divine. And you feel the warmth. It's more of a heat of divine magic seeping into you.
Mist is, like, trying... She's now trying to, like, basically kind of explode. Like, she's trying to gather all the energy that she has and just push it all outward.
Okay. Make an arcana, or make a spell attack.
Oh boy. Shit. Spell attack.
Basic range spell attack.
Damn, lucking this shit.
Okay.
There we go.
Okay. It starts to slither around you like a snake, and you feel it constricting around you, and it's tightening, and starting to push into your robes to the point where it's squeezing you into nothingness. Wherever it squeezes, your body just starts to vanish. And you gather your strength, your arcane energy, and you push it outwards all of a sudden. With sheer force of will, you feel the force around you dissipate. And everything around you vanishes. Join me back in the other channel now.
Jesus. Okay.
Deucing.
Hi guys, we're back.
Hey. That was some shit. Okay.
So,
Sorry about that.
yeah, everyone ready to get back icy?
Oh my god.
No, I think we have my AFK people actually.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
I'm
Okay.
here. Is Shadow
Okay.
here? Okay.
Okay.
We're all
Yeah.
here.
You guys have all just been kind of lazing about, minding your own business, doing your thing, and you saw Mist in the corner muttering to herself, and occasionally you saw her jerk around like she was dreaming almost. And all of a sudden, you see her stand up and just scream, and there's a big force of energy that pulses through the entire train car.
Oh my god.
And you see Mist standing there wide-eyed and trembling.
Well, Brenna's no longer in her blankets. She's like standing and has her daggers drawn.
Brandon's still like sitting down, but he's like kind of just looking over like the fuck.
Like,
Yeah, Nadia's up, concerned, hands out. Her Mist?
Mist is just, she's okay. She is sitting and staring at a corner before, but now that she's up, she's like, her eyes are darting around everywhere, and she like goes out to reach and touch the wall to like make sure it's there.
Mischief?
Nadia,
It's real.
Yep. Fucking hell! Fucking. Mist just covers her face. It starts like she turns around and starts pacing, and like she's still covering her face. She might trip on something. It's just.
Ren's still like got her daggers out, like she's pretty ready to stab something, but she's not sure.
Nothing. Did anything happen here? Nothing happened here, right? Like
No.
everything.
Luffy walks up to Mist and she like goes and she tries to pat Mist's shoulders, but Mist is too tall.
Pats
And
her
she's
elbows
like,
instead.
yeah, and she's like, Mist, it's okay. Nothing has happened here.
Mist just abruptly hugs Luffy.
Oh, and Luffy hugs her back. And she's like, it's fine, you're with us now. Was it what you were attached to?
Yeah, I guess so. Fuck. Not good. No. Alright, so Leander and the unknown.
Okay, wait, just
Wait, they're all the same thing, right? Wonderful. Perfect.
as Mist is saying this, Luffy tries to make her sit, that way a bump doesn't cause her to eat shit. Like,
Yeah, Mist will sit.
Ren's like kind of there with her daggers, like, okay, safe to put them away or not safe
Yeah,
to put them away?
Mist doesn't even fucking know right now. Like, she's like super jittery and clearly freaked out. It's like, alright, okay, so if I ever start to act really weird, like, I know I'm weird, but a different sort of weird, it's probably Leander possessing me, okay? But, yeah, just let me know.
Oh, so we've upgraded to actual possessions now, have we?
Apparently,
well,
Nadia frowns at that.
I
You are
tried to
very-
speak with the unknown, but it turns out that everything I am tied to is absolutely the opposite of that. Fucking divine being wants to use me as its body to destroy everything. It just wants a giant nothingness. That's it. It wanted me to join it.
well, that's not gonna happen, and you didn't. So we just have to keep making sure it will not happen.
I did learn, though, that we probably shouldn't destroy the Realmix, because if we do, then everything will fall apart. Something needs to be in that role.
Luffy looks disappointed.
Ren
So
looks
if we
like she
can't
pretty much
change
was
them, then what are we going to
No,
do?
but we can change them too. I mean, that is also a possibility. They could be changed, but something needs to be in that role one way or another. Not necessarily the role of, oh, I want to destroy everything, but in the role of, what each of them was supposed to stand for.
So,
Ren-
okay, wait.
Ren slowly sheathes her daggers and she's like, so what you're saying?
Is if I punch Cass in the face hard enough, I can be Cass, and then I can live forever with my dog friend.
Maybe?
So we're going to have to take their place.
If Yeah, if we want to go the route of that, sure. But Leander said that he was separate from them. That he was coming here regardless to make everything nothing.
Well, he's just an asshole.
Yeah. I
I
hate
mean,
him.
so far they all have been.
I really don't like it. He tries to claim that it's a force, his fucking divine being of bullshit. But yeah, Leander is basically that which waits. So that's great. We already have one here fucking shit up.
Well, I
Sort
mean,
of.
we have two here, Leander and Crove.
Fuck. Well,
Right?
okay. Miss she just like rubs her face and she's still trying to calm down. She's probably shaking somewhat. She's also occasionally staring at the tentacles like what the fuck are you then?
Well, that just makes it easier for us to go to them. We don't have to go and jump any planes. They're just gonna be here.
We don't want them to be here. Once they get here, they're going to destroy everything.
I thought they could only do that if they were all together.
Well, Leander said he was separate and he wanted to make everything nothing.
Well, is he
When
already
gets
here?
Yeah, I don't entirely know. I mean, I guess as far as that which waits is here. But not yet. He said something. Apparently its full capacity isn't here yet. He said it was coming, and when he got here, everything would be nothing. Some awful, convoluted, terrible reason.
Well, it's not really any worse than we were expecting.
It's
We can really
worse
do
than
at the
I was
moment.
expecting.
Nothing we can do at the moment besides stay our course.
Right.
He also knows the plan to change them. He's aware of that.
So he's trying to spook you. He's afraid.
I don't know about that.
Why else would he
Why?
be intimidating you now?
Well,
Yeah, he's ignored you your whole life up until now. Like,
I honestly was just speaking a great deal to what I thought was the unknown, but instead ended up being Leander, so... that might be why I got his attention.
yeah, but he hasn't oft spoken back in all of the time that I've known you. So I think that the only reason he is taking note now is because we actually prove a problem to him.
Possibly.
Why would he give you all this information if he knows that you are trying to be stopping him?
Probably to pacify me so I'd go over to his side.
Which means that he finds you viably strong enough.
And remember, we need all of us together. It's all or nothing.
Yeah.
I do kind of like the idea of having a god scared of us.
Yeah, it is pretty cool.
Yeah, well, good. But if for some reason, it is able to take hold of me.
Ren, like, she like, sits down in front of Mist. And she crosses her arms, she crosses her legs, and she stares at Mist.
Yeah, Mist stares back.
And she's like, do you honestly think that you're weak enough to fall to his influence? After all you've been through?
Once
Yeah,
it
you're one of the
almost...
strongest people I know.
Well, I mean, now I'm definitely not going to. But if I have a choice, right?
I mean...
There was a point before when I used a whole lot of energy and it tried to consume me. So...
And it didn't.
True. I don't want to say that it can't happen.
Well, you
But
should
I'm
say
going-
that it can't happen. Because if you say that it can't happen, it can't and won't.
Mist is like, I don't believe in absolutes, and that is the whole point. But
I understand, but I think in this case you ought to make an exception. Because this is
I
your
will
absolute that you're
say-
talking about.
I will say that I will do absolutely everything in my power to make sure it doesn't happen.
Then Ren kind of stares at her. Alright, I suppose I can accept that.
That's like the worst possible outcome that could become of me. I really don't want that.
Hmm.
Absolutely everything I stand against.
Just
Being
have to make
me,
sure that
no.
doesn't happen, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Here's the thing. That. Oh. Oh god,
no.
am I cutting out?
Yeah,
Yeah.
you are.
Oh?
Hello?
Hi. Oh no, Ed.
Oh god, I'm
Can
one
you hear
bar.
us?
Yeah.
Oh no, everyone's
Hold on.
shit.
Hold on.
Hold on, what?
Time to server surf again.
Yep, server surfing. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Off to Central.
My
Boom.
God.
Okay.
The tour of the
Nothing likes
Nice.
it.
I didn't hear like 2 minutes of that conversation, but it's fine.
It was just Mist and Ren arguing about being absolutely sure this isn't gonna happen.
Fluffy pipes up and she says, well, we've already learned that we as a people many, 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 many years ago created the gods because we had strong beliefs, right?
Sort of?
Perhaps. I mean, they kind of created everything. They were outside of.
Oh, right, we created religion. But anyway, what I'm saying is...
Our belief made things good.
Right, and I have these new and Luffy, like, fiddles her fingers for a bit and, like, you know, divine energy kind of, woo, shoots out. And she's like, oh, I have this because I believe in Saint and Saint believes in me. Like, if you don't believe that you yourself can defend against Leander, then believe that we will
Oh,
always
no.
get you out of it no matter what.
Ooh, there's the anime.
Yeah. Mist is
Friendship
like,
conquers everything.
all right. I believe that I will do absolutely anything to prevent this from happening. And if that is not enough, that you will get me out of it.
Good. See, you can believe in absolutes.
Sort of. Sort of.
We will. You know I would do anything for you.
Mist just conveys a whole lot of mushy feelings for Laffy, like silently through telepathy. It's sort of gay.
Another one of Luffy and Miss big game moments.
Oh, oh,
Haha.
I like that Laffy's whole speech boiled down to believe in the me that believes in you. Anyway.
Yeah, Mist rubs her face again, and she's just like, okay, alright,
Now are we agreed that no more trying to communicate with the mysterious unknown?
Yes! Listen, I
Uh,
thought they were different things, but it turns out they were all the same fucking entity whenever I try to reach out, so yeah, no, let's not do that anymore.
I have a question though, going forward. You are attached to this entity, yes?
Yes.
We know this. This is very big. Do we want to change the entity that you are attached to or do you want to take its place and free yourself from any other outside influence?
Well, I mean, either is fine with me, really.
Are you sure? Because that's your future as it stands, and I think that it's some things that you should give thought.
Well, what are you going to do, Luffy?
Well, I mean, no one's gonna want me to, but I kind of want to be a god with my dog for the rest of my life.
Well, then I will take that option too. Take the place of whatever and make it the way it should have been.
So grabbing the serious movie.
The way it all should have been was Squeaky Toy. It all
Yeah.
goes back to Squeaky Toy.
The founding squeak of it all.
Oh my god. I'm gonna kill this dog.
They call it the Big Bang, it was actually the Big Squeak. The universe, like, contracted enough so there's a wheat!
Yeah. It's like that. I mean, it's that simple. Look, I don't have anybody else but you guys, alright? You all have, like, family or people you care about, things to go back to, homes, places you felt you belonged, whatever. I don't have any of that. So, I have no problem just going where you would go.
I cut out for 2 minutes again. Did anyone try to
Oh,
oppose
God.
Luffy's horrible idea?
No.
No, I think everyone's sort of like, yeah.
Yeah, Miss basically said that then she's gonna do that too, and that she doesn't have anybody really other than her friends here, so she doesn't really mind just going with them.
Well, I think that it's good to have contingency plans. Maybe if one thing doesn't work, we do the other thing. But
Red is ominously silent.
You.
Yeah. Brand is
I
also.
don't like being a person. I'm barely a person as it is. I just go and I do the thing that people need me to do, and then I leave. That's
Yeah,
basically what being a Relmic is, if you'd actually take the damn responsibility.
Yeah, I'm obviously not a person either, so whatever. And the rest of you are strangely quiet.
I mean, last time I checked, I'm a person.
No, I mean, I didn't doubt you being a person, more like, do you have any thoughts about what you want to do with your potentially related awful fucking entity?
I don't know. Maybe I'll decide that after I kick its ass around a few places.
Fair. Just don't destroy it. We don't need that. Really bad if we destroy it.
I
We
mean,
still don't-
there's the information coming from your not so mysterious, not so benefactor.
Yeah, but I'm inclined to believe it. Here's the thing, right? If they are the forces of creation and you destroy the forces of creation and don't put anything in its place, what then?
Well, normally, I say this loosely because, well, we are dealing with the forces of creation here, and who knows?
Yeah.
Something would fill its place.
Okay, that's the thing. Something needs to take its place. That's what matters. So either it's just remained in that spot, only changed, or something else needs to take the place. But if nothing happens, then we're fucked.
We still aren't clear on how to replace them, right?
No, we're not.
No.
Not really.
So we're gonna go fight, what's his name? Corn?
Crove.
Corn?
Crove. There's an R after the C.
Oh,
Crove.
Crow.
There you go.
And we don't know how to be replacing Cyrilnik.
To be honest, we don't even know what this fucking device does, besides dominate it somehow, so maybe if it works, we can get answers that way. I don't know.
Who knows? Fuck it, I'm going to bed. And Ren gets back in her pile of blankets and just goes to sleep. Fake sleep, but you know.
Pretends to sleep for the effect.
Yeah. This is way over her pay grade.
Fair. I think it's over all of their pay grades, to be honest.
Fluffy goes and calls Saint to come hang out with her and Mist.
Saint just kind of comes over and hangs out.
Yeah, Mist likes hanging out with them.
Saint's kind of giving you a weird look, Mist, like appraising, all too intelligent for a dog.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
You know that
Yeah.
look when you're like, you know something about me. I don't know if I want you to know, dog.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Saint stares
Yeah.
into your soul.
yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, Mist looks back at Saint and just kind of conveys, like, not in a rude way, but in a, look, if you want to tell me something, just tell me.
He walks over to you, Mist, and, like, puts his paws up on your shoulders, and he's real heavy. So you almost fall over.
Yeah.
And he does a little dog burp in your face, and then licks you right in the forehead.
Oh my god.
No.
And then he pushes off of you to get away, and you fall back and hit the back of
Yeah.
you fall back onto your back.
Yeah. Mist just kind of lays there. It's like, thanks.
He walks over to everyone actually and does some rounds. Like Ren, he comes over to you and just looks down at you.
Ren's like poking her head out from under the covers, like, yes.
He does that thing where
making sure we're not possessed.
he looks at you, Ren, and you know that thing where like they're way too still and then their tail starts wagging?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's happening.
Ren's like, and then kind of like lifts the blankets for a second and just sort of pats them.
He bounds over and puts his paw straight in your face,
Oh.
and then crawls under the blankets.
Ren gives him a little cuddle.
Seems that's what he wanted, because then he kicks his way out of the covers and
Yeah.
pads away. Bran, he comes over to you and just sits next to you for a minute.
Bran scratches him behind the ear.
He leans into you a little bit, but he respects your space. And then Nenia, he walks over to you and just kind of stares at you with his big dog eyes.
Mm-hmm.
And just stares.
She is gonna break the personal space bubble, dispel her dancing light, and set the locket down to give Saint some hugs around the neck and scritchies on the ears.
He burfs. Wags his tail. And then walks off. Alright, so is everyone gonna take a little sleepy until you guys arrive in Ardor?
Mist is gonna stay awake Mist. Luffy's gonna stay awake as long as Mist is awake.
Mist doesn't sleep.
Yeah.
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 Or at least until Mist goes into a trance or something.
Mist is honestly kind of concerned about doing that right now.
Luffy looks at Mist and Luffy's like, you could always do the actual sleep thing. Can you do that? Is that possible?
I mean, it was possible, but I don't think I can with this body right now. I can try to pretend I'm dead, I guess.
You should just, relax a little bit. It'll make you. I mean, it's hard to relax, but lay down and give yourself some rest.
You rest. I will try to clear my mind as much as I can, or focus, or whatever, meditate, yeah.
Well, if you wanna stay awake, do you wanna talk about nothing? Because we can just talk about nothing.
Let's just not talk about nothing, okay? not nothing. Please no.
That's more metaphorical, like talk about things that don't matter.
If you're not tired. Wait, how?
I mean,
question. Is it like, would they actually need to be sleeping soon? Like, is it just, body clock, like, hey, you guys gotta go to bed now? Is that a thing? Or...
It's getting there, yeah. It's about like 8, 9 o'clock. You're probably still about 4 hours out, so.
Okay. Yeah, Mist is like, if you need to rest, please do. But if you don't really feel like it, we could talk about irrelevant things or curious things or whatever.
alright, well, let's talk about runes. Because I've been asleep most of this time anyway. I can sleep anywhere at any time.
You are very good at that.
And so Laffy stays up and just tries to distract Mist with, like, whatever mindless maid shit she still remembers.
Okay. So everyone else just does the sleeps?
Nah, Lydia's gonna try to stay up as long as she can, but just listen to Mist and Luffy talk and participate.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, the next...
Annie is curious. She wants to learn magic, too.
He wants to be distracted.
Yeah.
The next...
I mean, if Luffy notices that Nenny is up, she's gonna bother Nenny to come sit with them, but, like, that's...
Does Nenny allow herself to be caught?
Sure, she's not good at hiding that stuff, but yeah, she'll go hang out with them, stay up as long as she can.
Okay.
Bran pretty much immediately goes to sleep.
Bran's just like, fuck this shit, I'm sleeping.
I need a nap.
Relatable.
Yeah.
This is stressful. I'm gonna nap. Bye.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay. So, you guys, Ren and Bran, you guys fucking pass out. Ren, you know, do you choose to sleep or do you just kind of exist?
At the moment, Ren is just existing because insomnia.
Okay. 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 So yeah, you guys pass the time doing what you will. And eventually you hear the train start to pull into a stop. And the sound of the the sound of the tracks squeal as the train starts to slow down, and the noise that had been kind of mesmerizing just fades away. And in the distance, you start to hear the sound of industry of some sort. Gotta sneeze.
Bless you.
Thank you. You heard that through the wall, didn't you?
I did.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, you guys pull up and you hear the sound in the distance of industry and of civilization. And the train has stopped.
Well, time to get off the train.
Oh, look who's awake. Miss says, like, totally unsurprised.
Ren unfolds herself from the pile of blankets that she'd somehow reached the bottom of.
Did it. Yeah, Miss looks over at Bran and is like, is Bran up?
Bran's like half awake. Just kind of laying there. Hey, already, oh.
I don't know about Retty, but we're here, so We should probably get off this thing before it starts going again.
So do you guys hop on out?
Yeah, Mist is gonna open the door and see if they're fucking at Ardar. Even
Alright.
though we've heard sense of direction, it's fucking shit bad.
Well,
Like, does it look weird? Does it look human-y? It's probably Ardar.
you slide open the door, and it's now full night. But in the distance, you can see lights shining onto a cityscape. It's not as grand as what stood here before. It's far from it, actually. In fact, you are on what was once the eastern outer ring. Now you see before you a train depot. First and foremost, there's 4 other trains lined up next to yours, and it's just kind of... It's not so much a depot, I guess, it is just a field where the trains stop and are held until they are turned around and can go back. There's nobody around right now, and about a quarter of a mile in the distance is when the buildings start. And it's not the city you remember. Far from it. It is more humble. The buildings are slate gray, and instead of the strange metallic material, you only see stone now. But you still see chimneys reaching up, outlined by the moon. And there is smoke that's continuously pouring out that you can only see due to the moonlight, and it blocks out the stars. You can see that there are some people out and about, but they're only so close to where you guys are. But you're pretty certain that you are in part of Ardor.
Alright. Yeah, Mist opens the door a bit more and is like, no one's around, now's the time to get out before we get in trouble or some shit.
Ren seems completely unworried about getting in trouble and just gets out.
Yeah,
He's
Brandon's
very worried.
as casual as he ever does.
Yeah, Mist doesn't... I mean, the way she said that, she wasn't really worried about it. Just like, let's just not have anybody stop us right now. It would be annoying, whatever. So yeah, she gets out too.
Okay. You guys all pile out and start heading towards the city. The closer you get, the busier things get, obviously. It's still not very crowded because it is still nighttime. Sorry. I thought I had something queued up. I don't.
Oh.
Yeah, you guys start approaching the city, and it is built farther out than it was. And as you go in, you are swiftly surrounded by these high stone gray buildings, and your feet strike a snow-covered stone road. The once grand, almost insane alien-esque architecture has been replaced with standard-looking buildings. You look out in front of you, and the city, much like it did before, lowers down into like a caldera, heading down to where the center ring used to be. And even at night, you can see this steady glow, or steady orange glow, that's just there almost permanently now. Over the last year was the last time that many of you were here, about a year and a half, maybe 2 years ago. Things are different. They have done a decent job of rebuilding at least this part of the city. What you do remember about the entire city is that the center ring was destroyed. It has been abandoned entirely. It was sunk below the lava. Now much of the city is along the outer rings, but that too is destroyed. Not in all places, but the sheer amount of almost modern architecture and infrastructure was destroyed in the battle. It is now a more simple city. The outer ring cities or hamlets have been pulled in a bit more because the trains that once connected them no longer exist. And approaching, you can see that that's still somewhat true. This part of the city in particular was once the craftsman district, and you guys walk in and you see that yeah, there's still craftsman's type stuff happening here. It's more industry now. You do see people walking in and out of these buildings. Some of them are looking dirty, filthy, tired. Others are looking like they're walking with a purpose. Some are walking very cleanly in newly pressed clothing. You continue walking past these several buildings, and they're large. They're legitimate factory sizes, each and every one. And coming from within, you do hear the sound of metal striking metal or chains rattling, just various loud sounds. You continue walking in until you reach the spot where once you could catch some kind of transit into the rest of the city. This is a part of the city that doesn't really draw any of your attentions, I don't think, and if they do, please correct me. And eventually, yeah, you come upon the edge of the city and you just look down into where the center ring used to be. And it's a lake of molten rock. There are tips of buildings still sticking out of it. Some are lopsided, twisted to the side. But by and large, it is a sunken city. You look to your left, you look to your right, and you see that the gondola-type things that connected the different rings are also gone. They were collapsed. But there are newly paved roads, or cobbled roads, rather, going to either side of you guys that split off into the different cities. You could go north or south. The northern is still by and large, when the last time you guys were here, the northern part of the city was by and large untouched. It's not very hospitable. It was the residential district, so there was really nothing worth rebuilding immediately up there. To the south is the new home of government and training for various militias, the civic part of the city. To the west is still the western part where the farms are. The farmlands are nicer over there. It is where it's closer to where Nenia you're from, and Ren it's where you are from. So, do you guys head on north or south?
Ren, without actually looking at the party, she's beelining it for home.
Yeah.
Okay.
We are Luffy follows.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think anyone's gonna stop her.
Okay. Well, you guys head south. What used to be a relatively quick just trip was about, 10 minutes before. It's now about a 40-50 minute walk. And you pass these ruined structures, the weird, strange metallic tubes that made up part of the rings that previously you walked through, and that the outer version of the inner city actually was surrounded by. They're collapsed. There's remains of shops that you can see just broken down. There's rubble. This is a part of the city that hasn't been rebuilt at all. It has been ignored.
Pretty, familiar sights for Ren, because she spent most of her time.
Yeah. And I think it's a familiar sight for everyone but Bran, really. Maybe not Nenium. I think Mist and Luffy, you guys had been through here too, right?
I mean,
Yeah.
Bran's first trip through Ardor was mostly on fire and being attacked by demons, so even this is kind of an improvement.
That's true. That's true. Nenia, did you ever come to Ardor?
Oh, it would. If there was any trips for trade or medicine or ingredients that she can't.
Okay, so
have in her town, maybe?
yeah, once upon a time you came to Ardor with your parents, once or twice. They did some trading here, so you came with them. Once when you were older and you needed to buy your own medical supplies, you were given a little allowance and came up here on your own for a shopping trip. It was probably one of the most exciting things that happened in your life at that time.
Oh my god.
A simpler time.
Yeah.
Time.
Uh,
Thanks, fondly.
but yeah, you're walking past blasted out roads and just collapsed structures. There's no housing or anything on either side of you. You're just walking past ruined stone, chunks of obsidian burned into the ground. More than once, you have to step around smoldering craters where the lava has shot out of the center and leapt this far over. You guys are a solid, like, I don't know, 700 feet away from that caldera. Uh, and you're walking past, and eventually you get closer to the southern city. And you see that there are bigger buildings here. This has been rebuilt rather well, actually. It was probably the second district that was rebuilt. Ranlathi and Mist. You three in particular take a look at this and go, oh, wow, they actually put a lot of effort forth into fixing this one up. This was kind of a largely nothing district before. It was the shopping area. And now a lot of those shops and buildings have been repurposed. The structures of the buildings still maintain some of that old majesty to it. And they have taken care to maintain that. You still see the ruined ring portion on the outside. It's almost acting like a wall here, though. It's a large silver-gray wall that stands between this portion of the city and the caldera. It blocks out the orange glow. And you continue walking through here. It's a little bit busier around here. This seems to be the part where the city might not sleep around here. There's a lot of people running around in various types of clothing. Some of it's much more well kept. Others are people looking rather harried and hassled. You managed to pass a few houses this time, actually, though. People do live around here. You see what is very clearly military barracks of some sort, where people are training even at this time of night. It's about 2 in the morning at this point. You keep walking. You pass what now passes as the capital building of Ardor. It's no longer the ostentatious Sigillian look-alike. If you remember from before, the buildings in the very center of the city, the one that very few people actually went into, was a mere imitation of what you would see in Sigil, but better than, people that haven't been to Sigil in quite some time should be able to do.
Yeah.
So the building's nowhere near as large as that or as ostentatious, but this does seem to be where people are still coming and going from rather frequently. You see people in robes, people in very noble-looking clothing, people in normal clothing. All sorts seem to be walking in and out, even at this time of the morning. None of this catches your eye too much, so you continue heading up. You follow the road as it curves north again, heading towards the eastern part of the city, which was before just a place for the produce and goods from the farms to be brought in. Already immediately when the caldera comes into view, it spills light over in front of you and illuminates the road, and even from this distance you can see that that portion of the city is gone. It was never built back up. There was no purpose to it as far as anyone could really tell. Instead, you see that there are farms in the distance now. They aren't flush with where the city was, but they're close enough. They dot the countryside that has been burned in, thanks to the lava, actually. It seemed to have cleared away much of the rock, and given the proper procedures, they were able to chip it away, funnel it through the dirt like it's a river, and use that new soil to grow. And Ren, this is where your family's farm has been moved up to. The distance that most of the farms once sat at, in particular the villages, were just unsustainable. They were too far to receive things from, too far to send things to. It's about 3, 4 in the morning at this point. You're all getting fairly tired, sluggish even. And along this road, there are taverns and inns. This is where before the roads were just connecting things, where there were long stretches of nothing. This is not that. There are taverns and buildings and homes dotting the streets that you are walking down. And instead of it being that one long, big street, it does branch off into several other ones. It's very clear that this is where people are making their homes now. And eventually you make your way to what kind of passes as the town square of this. It is immediately evident. Wow, brain fart. It is immediately evident that this is a different part of the city entirely. This doesn't really fall under the purview of the rest of Ardor proper. So you see what probably passes as like the mayor's house. It's a little bigger than the rest of the others. Even this time, you do see people spilling out of 1 or 2 taverns, drunkenly swaying through the streets. Some falling and tripping into the snow face down and laying there before picking themselves up and staggering off. Yeah.
Good times.
Several of those taverns are definitely closing. They're shoving people out the doors and then pulling their own doors shut. From here, Ren, are you just going home?
Before when she was walking with, speed, her pace has slowed down considerably to the point where it's
Does she really want it?
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So she's kind of trudging along now.
Yeah, Miss is Ren, just do it.
It's 4 o'clock in the morning.
Do what? Are we
Go
not?
home.
It's not even dawn yet.
Okay, but we're on a time limit, remember? At least we can get there.
Yeah, alright. Ren continues trudging in that direction, not actually picking up her pace.
Okay. I will remind you guys that Bran is the only one that got true rest. So if you guys don't rest soon, you will be taking a point of exhaustion until you do get a full rest.
Yeah,
Bran
Miss
always
is
gonna get his
basically
8 hours.
thinking...
Yeah.
Miss is basically thinking they get there, they be like, hey, we're staying here for a little bit, and then they go to bed.
Oh my god.
Okay. Yeah. Just
Ren,
reminding you guys.
Ren
Yeah.
pauses in the doorway of a thing going into somewhere, and she looks at Laughing. She's like, maybe we should just sleep the night in the mansion. I feel like that would be a better idea.
Yeah, and I mean, you're walking, you want to see your family, right?
Not
You
at
wanna
4
do
o'clock
that.
in the morning, open the mansion.
Yeah, that's what I was getting at. Was see them tomorrow.
Yeah.
Buffy opens the mansion and she's
Ren
like, I don't
runs
know why I
into
didn't
the
stop
mansion.
you earlier.
Ren flees into the mansion and closes her door. She's doors open, she's boom gone. Doors
Doesn't
slamming
like it.
before anyone
Running away from her feelings.
The second you open the door, by the way, Polka Dot Scream greets you. Alright, so do you guys just kind of rest up for the night now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Bran probably naps on and off and just keeps himself busy until everyone's awake.
Okay.
Miss tells Vathan to watch her I mean,
Uh-huh.
she would say hawk, but then she's like you.
Yeah, no, you definitely feel that he was expecting the word hawk and was ready to be really angry.
Yeah, Miss knew that. It's no, you're better than a hawk. You're way better than a hawk.
Vathan puffs up pridefully.
But yeah, she tries to meditate,
Okay.
feeling better that Vathan's keeping an eye on her.
Okay. Yeah, you guys you get about 8 more hours, so it's about 11 to 12 when you guys all stir, and you roll out of bed.
Ren tries to make sure that she's the first one up.
Okay.
I mean,
Aside from, Mist. But Mist is hopefully in her room. So she doesn't see Ren get up and, leave.
Okay. Does anyone catch Ren on the way out, or do you guys all sleep until, like, noon?
I mean, honestly, Mist might be out there, but if Ren just left, she wouldn't really say anything.
Yeah, no.
Ren knows the city, Ren has family here, Ren can go and do her shit, it's fine.
Ren's a big girl. She can take care of herself.
She's not gonna go into the volcano by herself. It's okay, she's got other things on her mind.
Even if she does, she probably won't get much done on her own anyways.
Yeah.
Won't have time to catch up to her.
What's the worst that can happen?
There's another portal!
Screen pans over to Ren, ending the world casually. Like, don't leave that to Ren, okay?
What's the worst that can happen? A biography of Renzueno Whitler.
Honestly, what's the worst that could happen? With Ren at the helm, please.
Okay, so if nobody catches Ren, you head on outside. Where are you going?
She, spends the next 2 hours while they're, getting up, pacing outside the mansion.
Okay.
Perfect.
She was gonna go. She was totally gonna go. And then...
Feelings.
Yeah, no.
She can't.
She gets, 20 feet down the road, and then she's like, wait, no, never mind, and walks back towards the mansion. And then gets, 30 feet down the road, and then she's like, no, never mind, and then walks back to the mansion. And that's what she does for the next, 2 hours while she's, yeah.
Laffy is eventually gonna realize that Ren isn't where Ren should be, because I feel like that's just,
Yeah.
you eventually get a sense
Get that
for
feeling, yeah.
And she goes and she opens up the mansion expecting to have to hunt after Ren, but then she just finds Ren outside the mansion.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh, you have gotten less far than I thought you would.
Yes, well...
Mist Peak sounds like, what, Ren didn't run away yet?
No.
Alright, that's it, I'm going. And Ren starts walking down the road. Slowly.
Bye, Ren, we love you.
She slowly stops and she's like, you're not coming?
You want us to come?
No?
Oh, well,
Okay,
do you
let's
want
do
us
it.
to come or do you not want us to come? Pick
I
one.
mean, I think that no meant she wanted us to come, but
Oh
she
my
didn't want to
god. Well,
admit
what
it.
about Brad and Nenia? We can't leave the kids here by themselves.
I'm not a child, as she.
At this point, Ran heard that too as he walks up, and he just gives Laffy this look that no one probably understands. And he almost looks like he's about to just laugh. And yes, let's not leave the kids behind.
Yeah,
Alright, well, now that we're all here, I guess we should go.
Ren starts walking like she meant to do all along. Totally moving along. Slowly.
yeah.
Waiting for them to catch up.
Nenia leaves a mindful gap, though. This is Ren's thing, it's her family, so it's like a mindful gap in the walk for Nenia.
Isn't for now, because it seems like if someone doesn't keep pace with Ren's just gonna be a slug. So, she's
true. If she
she's
doesn't...
keeping up with Ren and occasionally maybe passing Ren to make sure that Ren keeps going.
Yeah, exactly. As soon as Miss walking a little bit in front of her, Ren picks up her pace and is
Miss doesn't know where she's going, but she's sort of keeping Ren in the periphery and using her as okay, this is where she's going. If I'm just a little bit ahead, it's fine.
Ren also just before they get there, Ren kind of stops and looks down at herself, and she's like, 1 minute. And she like vanishes behind like a tree, several trees, so that she's like hidden, and then comes out and she's like dressed in like her bester clothes that aren't quite as shredded and adventure-y, and looks like she's prestidigitationed herself clean.
Does she still look dead though? That's the question.
Not as dead, but her eyes are still glowing, and like she's
Fair.
like her hair is like plaited really nicely, and then she keeps going.
Luffy's like, do you want us to wait outside when you go and talk with your dad?
Ren gives them a non-answer.
Your boyfriend might be there too.
You know, I'll go with you if you want. I won't say anything unless I need to, but...
Yeah, I can probably keep quiet.
Ren just
Probably.
Look, we're
picks up
here
her pace a
for...
little more.
We want to see them, but we also do have questions, so it's okay. There's another, you know, we could defer to something else if you must.
Yes, good. And Ren keeps walking. A little more quickly now.
Yeah, Miss still keeps pace with Ren just in case. She doesn't
Okay.
get ahead much anymore, though.
Okay.
Cat.
It doesn't take too much longer before Ren, a familiar little shack comes into view. It's gotten a little bit bigger, a little bit better maintained. When you initially left, it was more like 2 or 3 like little houses connected together. And now it's one big one. They've built it together, and it's kind of your typical like farmstead. It's located about 20-30 minutes outside of the little town proper. It's a typical little farmstead off about, I don't know, 40-50 feet away from the house entirely is the beginning of fields, where you can clearly see that things are starting to grow winter sort of things. In this part of the world, you know, some things do grow in the winter, and it's a fact of life. You've never questioned it. There's a barn a little bit farther away. When you left, you didn't really keep anything in there. It was kind of just an aesthetic thing.
Makes sense to me.
Yeah.
Dad just likes to build. He's a dad.
Oh my god.
But also when you left, things weren't exactly great money-wise. You guys were scraping together as much as you could. Your dad had gone off to the city, or specifically the southern city, to help train the militia. He had become the captain of the guard, and was training up the new generation of militiamen and the policing force of Ardor to better be prepared for these weird extraplanar threats. Finley was left in charge of the farm. And so were you. And that's where things happened. As you approach, you see a small child hanging out on the front porch that you don't really recognize from this distance. They're just sitting out there. It's, from the distance you're at, they look to be about 6-7 years old, dressed rather plainly, playing with some little wooden thing in their hands. Behind the child is the door to the cottage, where out steps Finley, dressed in thicker clothing, winter clothing, looking like she's about ready to go out into the field to start working. She bends over and says something to the kid, and the kid looks up at her and gives a thumbs up, and hops up with hops up and takes something from Finley before running off into the city and passes you guys on the way. And you have to sidestep a little bit because the kid, being a kid, doesn't try to avoid you guys.
Ren was.
Ren squints at the kid a little bit. Does she recognize?
You can make a little perception check.
Sure.
Nope.
Oh my,
As a child.
Yeah, that is.
look at that child go.
All children look alike.
What a child.
Let
Get
it
a load of that
go.
kid.
Get a load of that kid. Yeah, and Finley hasn't noticed you guys. And she's turning back and talking to someone in the doorway, and you can't see what she's saying, nor can you really see how she's saying it, just that she's speaking. And then she turns and grabs a little bag and hefts it over her shoulder and starts walking. She doesn't seem to have noticed you yet.
At this point, Ren has like stopped walking, but she doesn't look like she's realized she's stopped walking.
Mist kind of waits like a second or two and then sort of taps Ren on the shoulder like, you gonna
Huh?
keep
What?
going there?
Yes. And Ren's like, she's watching Finley.
Okay.
You should probably go say hello.
Yeah, maybe before she starts working and is, interrupted.
Right at that, she makes a little face and turns and looks at you guys, and she squints for a second, like she,
Ren
Mist
waves.
waves.
you see her like suspicious look bloom into a wide smile, and she doesn't run so much as she kind of does a quick jog over to you guys and, hey, what's up?
Not much. You're
Hi.
looking decidedly more human.
Fleshy.
It's an improvement. You forget that you can get hurt, but hey, whatever, right?
I mean,
Ren has this like plastered smile on her face that doesn't like look like it's reaching her eyes, but like she like mechanically has forced her face into a smile.
oh my god.
So, why are you guys here? Just coming for a visit, or,
We've got some reasons, but I'm sure that Ren wanted to see you despite her strange expression.
I mean, let's be real. She's terrible at admitting when she misses her family.
Oh, I just assume she always misses me.
True.
I do not.
Oh, you're so
Bran just
rude.
gives her this look like, don't even try.
She gives you a look. It looks like she's about to say something, but then thinks better of it and looks behind you and said, "Oh, who's your new friend?"
Which one?
Bran
There's-
moves Ninia to the front of the group.
That one? Yeah, the only one I haven't met. The hell do
Right.
you mean? Hi, I'm Finley. I'm Ren's sister. How are you?
Nice to meet you.
and she just walks
puts her hand
right-
out.
She just walks right up to you and takes your hand, like, right before you get it up all the way.
Oh, gracious. I'm Nenia. Hi.
Nice.
Hard to believe they're related, isn't it?
I don't know.
So they drag you into one of their crazy schemes?
Pretty literally, actually.
It's not a
Oh, good.
scheme.
No.
I mean, you don't even want to know.
Oh, come on. I bet it's not as bad as the last time we had to save the world, am I right?
Luffy looks off into the middle distance.
Ren also looks off into the middle distance, but
It's worse. It's fucking
Um,
worse. I'm not even kidding.
She looks at you, Nenian. I'm so sorry.
Alright, you all adventured together once?
In a manner of speaking, yeah.
Oh.
she was a such an alma back then.
What? Maybe I should know better by now than to just be confused, but it keeps happening.
Have you explained to the poor dear anything that's happened, or you just kinda...
I tried to somewhat, but
It's
there's
more
a
of
lot.
like we explain whenever it comes up.
As it goes, it's alright.
It's not really all right.
It's really
but-
not okay.
I mean, we don't want to, dump the whole thing on her at once. It's a bit more than
Well,
anyone
I kind
take
of
in
did
at a time.
some, but there's a lot.
We talked.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay, you know what? How about all of you guys come in? It's cold, it's about to start snowing again. And Ren, Julian's, he's here. I bet you want to see him. Well, he expected you just to head off and eventually come back. And look, you're back, and she just kind of gestures to you and doesn't say anything.
Yes, Ren, you should go talk to Julia.
Ren's mouth opens, closes, and she gets this really offended look on her face, and then this really affronted look on her face, and this really petrified look on her face. And then she's like, you know what, maybe I'll just...
No, Ren, go in.
This is a terrible idea.
You're not escaping now.
When has a terrible idea ever stopped you, sis? Come on. And she reaches over and,
No,
just drapes
no.
her arm across your
No.
shoulders.
No, you don't understand. This is a really bad idea.
And she's just walking.
No, please. And Ren isn't she's resisting, but it's like a wilted, not actual resistance.
And-
She can't actually
No.
fight this.
It's
Yeah.
also in this moment you remember Finley's a good deal stronger than you. You're quick. Finley's strong. So she's dragging you along, and the rest of you guys is kind of following.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Ren's
Yeah.
leaving
Fighting?
Brand's not gonna miss
leaving
this.
like
one.
half skids in the dirt as she attempts that cursory resistance,
Yeah.
but realizes that Finley is not having any of it.
You're looking a lot healthier these days. That's good.
Oh yeah, it's the god blood.
Uh,
Uh,
okay, yeah, sure. All right. And she just keeps walking.
yeah, that's sort of us too.
Yeah,
If you want, we can explain.
no, that's... Yeah, you should probably explain, but not right now.
I don't
Come
have any god
That's
blood in
fine.
me. At least not yet.
Not yet.
Yet? Come on. I'm sure we have something to eat inside. And she pushes open the door.
I mean, if you don't, I can always go and just get
No,
something.
Ren.
It wouldn't
No.
be any trouble at all.
As you say that, Julian comes into view. He's more dressed than he normally is for a werewolf. And by that I mean he's wearing thick winter clothes and not relying on a weird werewolf pelt because he's a human these days, or as much as he can be. Much to your chagrin.
He's doing his
Ren
best.
once again has that rigor mortis smile on her face.
And he steps out looking thinner than he did before. But not in a super unhealthy way, just in it's not summer sort of way. Which I think we all kind of know what that means. And,
Yeah.
Times are lean. And he just looks at you and... Oh, hey. You're home. Look at that.
Miss,
I'm
reading this expression casually, is Julian just having this massive feelings and weird shit too, Ren? Do I have to insight this face?
Yeah, you do.
Alrighty, here we go. Jesus. 26. She really wants to know.
Judging by his posture and the way he's looking at Ren, there's a lot going on.
Yeah. Miss just waves.
Hey, what's up? So,
Hey, well, good to see you.
Yeah, good to see you too. How's she been? Behaving?
I mean,
Sort
she's
of.
red.
That's
Yeah.
good. She's looking, less pale. That's good getting some sun. Glad, yeah.
I'm right here.
Lockie doesn't say anything, but she does make it uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Noise.
Well, maybe if you'd speak, we wouldn't have to speak for you.
Yeah, why don't you?
I'm capable of speaking in my own way.
Finley just,
Wait,
no, you're not.
Fluffy
I
looks around.
Came out here to have a good time, and I'm feeling so attacked right now.
Oh my
Are there any exits?
No. It is the front door and only the front door.
Yeah, Mist is just like,
Can she go to any other room?
yeah, Mist is like, where's the kitchen? You think we can make something?
Yeah,
Well, everybody else here.
the kitchen would be great.
Yeah, it's just over there. She points to a doorway. I thought you meant like an exit out of the house.
Oh no.
Yeah, no, there are a few
We gotta
more
leave
rooms.
these guys alone,
Yeah,
man.
there are a
We
few
gotta
more
have a talk.
rooms. And Finley points over to a room on the right. It's in there. Feel free to.
Fluffy starts walking like, okay, I am going to the kitchen, and she starts walking very slowly and looking at the other.
Yeah, Mist
Many
is
follows.
going with her. Make you all some tea.
Ren is
something.
like halfway towards stopping them. Like her hand is doing motions and her mouth is moving, but she's not. There's not actually words coming out.
Vathan perches on Ren's shoulder for a second. It pops up. And then
Ren, Ren shoes Vathan. Like,
No. He's just like, yup, you don't need me here. Vathan goes.
Yeah, Brent's gonna go too. He's gonna, leave Red.
Everyone casually just leaves them alone.
Let the three of them, catch up.
I bet they're all gonna be having their ears to the door.
Nanny is
Oh,
gonna be polite
Luffy
and not
super is. Two kinds of people.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Ren, how you been, babe? You good? Yeah, you look good. I like the whole eye thing you got going. That's kind of.
Yeah.
Finley chimes in. Yeah. What's up with that?
Oh boy.
They
Maybe
just-
you should sit down.
Oh my god.
Right. All right.
Gonna be one of those conversations.
Julian walks off and comes back with 3 chairs and just sets them in front of everybody and collapses into one, folds his arms over his chest and just looks at you kind of unimpressed.
Ren, thinks about sitting in her chair, but she mostly just sort of moves around the chair and then eventually settles with, her hands on the back of the chair in front of Finley and Julian.
Okay. And Finley just sits down and doesn't look nearly as pouty or put out as Julian, but you know your sister.
Nice to see you both very well.
From the other side of the door, I bet Mist and Laffy are just looking at each other like, oh man, this is not going good.
I'm sure most of them can still hear the conversation.
Probably. No one's probably saying
Stupid
anything.
elf ears.
Yeah. Nanny is the only one.
Yeah, she's sitting
taking in
politely
that
at the
furniture.
Yeah.
Whatever trinkets and things are in the room, she is just taking in the house.
Nanny
Okay.
is the one that's actually making the tea.
Yeah.
Well, no, I think Ren's the one making the tea in this case.
Oh my
Well, Ren's the
god.
one spilling the tea.
Yeah.
So, do you want this the easy to swallow way or the all at once way?
I'm going to assume that the world's ending again, because
Yes.
that's your. Okay. Called it.
uh,
So you're the one saving it?
uh,
Yeah? No? Maybe so?
yes.
Okay. 2 for 2.
I don't think I'm gonna be coming back this time.
Finley sighs too, and Ren, you always say that.
No, I mean it this time.
You always mean it this time.
No, Mm.
Why do you believe it this time?
Okay, so starting with the whole bringing you back to life thing.
Yeah, that was weird.
Yes,
You ever
and
wear skin that doesn't quite feel like it fits? Yeah.
yeah. Ren looks at her hands. uh, so look, if this whole thing goes south, I want you to move to Sigil real quick. But
Okay.
and Ren sits down in the chair.
What's up, Buttercup?
Ever since I came back, I felt this pull. And I didn't know what it meant until a few nights ago, when we realized this whole sordid tale had about a few weeks left for us to sort it out, and at the very least, I know we're all going to end up at, the end of it, and that's just how it works out. But I'm fairly certain I was brought back for a reason, and this is it.
This being.
I it there so the world was created by a bunch of omniscient beings, and they decided, oh look, creation is wonderful, we made a wonderful thing, let's break it down and do it all over again.
Okay. Following you so far. Yeah, alright. Where does this go?
Well, it happened once before, and I think it's why we have that thousand or so years of missing history. But the people who previously attempted to do what we're attempting to do failed and only succeeded by sealing and away from the rest of the realms. And now the magic we used to bring you back was the catalyst in these beings finding the world again.
God damn it, Ren.
I mean, yeah, okay. Still would do it again. Um, all things considered. And we're all sort of caught up in this cosmic game of epic proportions due to various circumstances in which we've been somewhat chosen by some of these beings, and Ren holds up her hand.
Oh, that's gross.
It's awful. And Ren takes out one of her daggers and like experimentally like cuts open her hand, and does the like is her blood still like gold?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, okay.
It's not like
and she like
glowing, but it looks like molten gold.
and Ren like shows them that.
Gross.
So I'm sure that, well, whatever I am now, it's not human, and I'm sure that by the end of this, I'm not going to be around in as much of a capacity. Because the current plan is to either replace the Realmic or dominate it.
Kinky, but okay. Why do you think you're
From
gonna...
the other side of the kitchen door, by the way, you hear.
and like a little bit of shh.
Anya asks them to get away from the door quietly.
Miss just holds up a finger like 1 minute.
So you're gonna dominate them, huh? Is this why are you gonna do that?
Because they're shits. Okay, they want to destroy all of creation, and I'd rather that not happen. And the existing idea that we forged of them in the past were more benevolent, and we can influence that using a tool that was given to us by a cat.
Probably not the best way to.
On the other side of the door, there's some giggling that's soon muffled.
Ren, like she realizes what she just said and is like, there's no better way to put that.
I mean, I can't really think it's weird. I was a living suit of armor and a vampire at one point, and Julie just... Yeah, and I like, you know, I'm a dog sometimes. It's whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, still don't know why you're convinced you're gonna not come back.
It feels that way.
Ah, okay. Gotcha. Okay, that's fine.
Don't give me that.
What? You're always so fatalistic.
Yes. I like to be prepared.
You've always come back. You've made me come back. You'll come back.
I just want you to be prepared for the possibility that I won't come back.
Fine, just like every other time, we'll stop putting food out on the table for you every night.
You put food out on the...
No, it was fucking metaphorical.
Oh. Alright.
But fine. We'll assume you're not coming home. How about the rest of your friends? Are they going to be coming home? Will they come back and tell us of your demise?
Maybe one or two of them. I think some of them made up their minds to become the Realmics.
I'm only tolerating this because of the shit we've gone through before. Julian just nods. Alright. So, do you want me to tell Dad anything, or... You good?
No, don't. I mean, you can tell him what you like.
Alright, that his undead daughter is being fatalistic.
Yes.
Cool. I mean, he's used to having at least one of us undead, so it's fine.
Oh my god.
I suppose that's fair.
Is that all?
Yeah, pretty much. And Ren gets up. I'll just. And Ren turns towards the door.
No. You get back here. We're gonna eat together like a fucking family. And then you can go do whatever the hell it is you're gonna do, you fatalistic piece of shit.
Ow. Do you really want to draw this out?
Yes!
Why?
You're my sister. You sacrificed the world to bring me back, so I'll sacrifice a few hours of everyone's time. Why not? Would you rather just leave? Just go say, hey, sis. And Julian, he just grunts. I may never come back, so that's it. Bye.
That was kind of the plan.
It's a
Yeah.
terrible fucking plan. What is it with you and having either great plans or the worst plans? Make up your fucking mind.
Look, that's how I do, okay?
From the other side of the door, Laffy looks at, Laffy looks at Mist and like nods in solidarity.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, Miss nods back. Like, yup.
Now come on,
Look,
we're keeping them waiting. They're over at the door listening, I bet.
Well, yeah.
Okay.
you can hear footsteps right away.
Giggling. That is soon suppressed.
You gonna stay?
I suppose.
Good. Now, let's make food together. What is it, lunchtime? Yeah, it's a little after lunchtime, I guess. We'll make lunch. We'll spend some time together. It's like we used to, except we can all eat instead of me just watching you eat and you prestidigitationing flavor into my mouth. That was so weird.
Yeah, it was pretty weird.
We can all eat together as a group. It'll be nice.
It'll be weird.
Why is it gonna... It'll be weird, but it'll also be nice. And then you can go save the world, you big damn hero.
I suppose.
You suppose everything. What is this? You should... I'm gonna start sounding like Mother. Come on.
Oh, don't do that.
You can turn anyone into a fucking mother, I swear to gods. And she walks over and kind of gives the door a tap before opening it, as if to say, like,
Yeah,
hey, get away from the door.
Yeah, Miss totally moved when they said something about we're gonna eat. So Miss is like, quick, we gotta fucking start making some shit.
Laffy is pretending to look busy, and the minute the door opens, she like looks over her shoulder.
Miss is helping Nenia with the tea. If it's ready, she's like helping pour it out into like glasses or whatever the fuck.
Yeah, tea into glasses.
Yes.
Cups. Fine.
Maybe it's sweet tea. You don't know.
We don't know this
In
weird
winter?
realm
Yeah,
tea.
sweet
Yeah.
tea in winter. Yeah, actually, yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be
If you've ever
okay.
been to Georgia,
was-
sweet tea
I
is
was
something we have
drinking
year
with-
round.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was drinking sweet tea when I was there in December, so.
Yeah, it's...
That's strange.
No, it's not. It's great. You drink, it's the kind of sweet tea that
Sweet
gets in your
tea is-
veins.
Sweet
Yeah.
tea is more common than water down here.
Yeah, it's all yeah.
You,
Yeah.
like,
It's like, do you want water or sweet tea? And the answer is usually sweet tea.
like most restaurants serve it because it would be a bad idea not to.
Oh man,
God.
sorry. Okay, I'm not gonna go off on that tangent.
Maybe later.
Yeah, later. All right.
Ren kind of like as Finley and Julian move into the other room, Ren kind of like lingers behind. Kind of like looking around at the room.
Okay. It's kind of a very simple room. It's looks like it could be a bedroom, but it's mostly just like a sitting room. There are some books off to the side. There's a few lights installed. It's a sitting room.
She glances down at the 3 chairs they were just occupying and sighs. And like obviously her thoughts are getting away from her because she doesn't actually move.
Bran, get your ass in here. We need
Uh.
another hand. Bran is good at cooking, but not that good.
Wow.
Bran almost looks offended.
Fluffy gives a low ooh.
I
Ren,
suppose I'm cooking dinner.
I was just saying that to get her in here. Listen, you are really good at cooking, though.
Ren like peeks her head through the door.
Hi.
Ren, get in
When
here.
have you ever wanted to eat my cooking?
Oh,
I mean,
no, you're just...
Something's really good sometimes. You did that once.
Broken clock, always something once or twice. Whatever, you're good with knives, and that's what we need right now. Come on.
What do you need carved?
I don't know, I'll figure it out though.
We should make some apple pies.
Ren just starts like juggling her daggers as she's waiting for them to sort through things.
Are there like any like fruits or bread nearby or like
Yeah.
anything?
Yeah, there are whatever supplies you think you would need. There's fruits, bread.
Bran goes and picks up an apple and chucks it at Rin while she's juggling her knife.
Oh my god.
All right, make a basic ranged attack. Unless Ren's not going to try to dodge it.
Or is she gonna try to catch
Apple
it?
in half, or catch it. Slicing it in half would be cooler though.
Okay, we'll make a ranged attack, Bran.
It's
Improvise.
with or without proficiency. It's just chucking an apple.
Technically, you're proficient with... Or are you proficient with thrown weapons?
Maybe?
He's a bard, so probably.
Who
Yeah.
knows?
You know what, let's just say you are. Yeah, with proficiency. You're really good at throwing apples.
I rolled.
Nailed it.
Alright, Ren, what do you want to do to this apple?
Ren's gonna like. She's gonna do to it like that freaking one gif of the guy with the knife and the fruit, where he's just like chopping it in half and it's just like amazing.
That's a little bit too vague. for
Yeah, I have
me.
no idea what
Yeah.
you're talking about, but okay.
Alright. Well, anyway, she's gonna be amazing and cut it in half.
Okay.
Okay, but are the pieces gonna fly
Yeah.
behind her and hit anyone who's behind her?
Yes. Oh,
Perfect.
Alright, is anyone behind net? Is anyone...
Yeah.
Anyone behind Ren?
Sure.
Who did Ren stand?
All right, so Ren, you reach up and you just slash the apple midair. The 2 pieces fly back, and any of they hit you in the head.
Oh
Ren just gives it. Ren, you were supposed to catch it.
Okay. Nenny, how you
Bring back,
right?
man! You expect me to catch something? I expect to like. Anyway, sorry, yeah.
It's
Didn't
okay.
you just
And
apologize?
Ren just reaches over and like brushes some apple schmutz off her face.
Oh my god.
Thanks. And she's probably as red as an apple, embarrassed, and picks up what's on the floor to help her shame.
Oh, Nania.
Yep, it's Nania.
Okay.
Well, I guess they're making some pies, maybe. I don't
Okay.
know.
Excuse me. Okay. Yeah, you guys spend the next however long cooking up some pies, just a meal, a nice home cooked meal. You sit down at the table, or just kind of stand around and eat together as a group. Finley is as welcoming as she can be. She seems like she's pretty happy to see all of you guys again. Um, you get the sense from her that she sort of misses the insane shit that you guys got up to. You know, she went from being a living suit of armor to a farmer, so kind of a downgrade.
Yeah. I mean, if you're into adventure, then
Yeah.
At least she can eat now.
Yeah. And Julian just kind of Ren, he keeps you like at a distance for a little bit, but as the night goes on,
Ren's like keeping like herself across the room, like to
Oh
make
my
it as awkward as humanly possible, because that's how she rolls.
he basically starts chasing you around the room after a few
Oh my
hours.
Oh my god. You can't run away from a dog, it'll chase you.
Yeah.
He thinks it's a game.
It's a challenge. You gotta.
Yeah. And if no one's gonna do anything else, we're gonna leave off there for tonight.
Oh my gosh.
Awkward family dinner.
Yep.
Before we go fight a god.
Yay.
Alright. Well, we'll be back next weekend, Internet.
Yeah.
Farewell.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.